just now tuning in, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell. GMS fam, the green room. Let's talk about it. Hey, yo, GMS fam, the green room, what's going on? Can everybody hear me, man? I turned up my volume. I know some of y'all on the past couple shows was like, hey, nigga, turn up your volume. And I was like, my volume is up. And some people were like, no, you sound fine. And then I'll be like, see, I sound fine. But at the same time, I want to be able to make sure I'm loud enough for everybody. Not just some, but for everybody. So make sure if you can hear me loud and clear, if I'm too loud or if I'm not too loud or if I'm just right, let me know in the comment section below, man. Let me know in that live chat. GMS fam, the green room, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We got a lot of topics to talk about today, but first and foremost, man, I have to start out on a somber note. A good guy, a friend of mine, passed away yesterday morning. And I just want to make sure that I highlight this real quick. Make sure that I'm doing this the right way. But my guy right here, man. My guy Ace. Yeah, he passed yesterday morning. Spare the details. But you know, Ace was a really talented guy. A real loving father, you know what I'm saying? One of those things where, you know, me knowing him for a long time, even before I had my daughter, you know, seeing him as a dad, you know, that was admiring to me. And it was something that, you know, other people could see and aspire to be as well, as far as, you know, being a very active dad and being very involved and, you know, loving on your kids. And, you know, he was that and so much more. One of the most talented rappers that I've ever heard in my life. You know, the dude's pen is unmatched. He isn't just somebody who I'm like, yeah, you know, one of the coldest rappers in Minnesota. Like, no, like one of the coldest rappers that I've heard in my lifetime. And he has such a unique voice behind it as well. It was like this raspiness, but also it was very like electrifying at the same time. But it was so hip hop to the core that it was undeniable. And you know, he was part of the reason why I got to step on one of the most, you know, the biggest stage I've ever stepped on in my entire rap stint, my whole rap career. The biggest stage I ever stepped on was because this man thought of me and wanted me to be a part of that moment. He had a chance to open up for Redman, Dizzy Wright, and Devin the Dude over out here at Myth, which is a fairly big venue. And he wanted me to come out to perform one of the new songs that I just put out featuring him called Zero F's. Y'all can find that if y'all like, but it was a very fun moment. I love to share the stage with him. We shared a lot of stages together. We did a lot of shows. We recorded quite a few songs together. You know what I'm saying? We you know, just over time, you know, knowing him and being around him and, you know, sharing moments with him, man, I just, you know, it's really sad to hear the news. So rest in peace to Ace, man. Prayers to his family as well. You know what I'm saying? His lady Leslie, you know, they just had a daughter recently. You know, she's young. I think she's like maybe like 2 or 3 or something like that, man. So, and then his daughter Jada, who is over here on the right, and then that's my niece Taya. I don't know if y'all probably seen him in the chat, but if you ever see Fooster Files show up in the live chat, that's my guy. That's his daughter there, and you know, that's me and, you know, Ace's niece as well. So, you know, the people that you become close to, man, you don't just say, oh yeah, that's my friend's daughter. Like, no, that's my niece. You know what I'm saying? Or that's my nephew. Or, you know what I'm saying? It was just one of those things. And, you know, my guy Foo was a lot closer to Ace than I was. You know, I met all these guys together. We actually met doing the show. Shout out to Station 4 in St. Paul. It's no longer there, but we all did a show together one day, and we kind of just, you know, linked up after that and started working together, and it was a conglomerate of us. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Trey P, one of the coldest producers ever. Shout out to Deals. Shout out to Madden. Of course, Foo. Shout out to Ian. A lot of y'all, man, just you know, I appreciate those moments, and I you know, I tip my hat to those times that we had, man, and I appreciate everybody that, you know, was supportive of me in my little journey and welcoming me into the fold. So I appreciate that, man, and I really, you know what I'm saying, it's unfortunate, but also I believe that a lot of things do happen for a reason. Even if you don't understand it. And I'm gonna just, you know, continue to cherish those memories, man. Looking back on the times that were super positive, and, you know, us making music together. And I just, you know, it's a sad thing to deal with when somebody's lost like that, especially at a young age, and, you know, having to leave family behind. And, you know, I feel for it for his daughters and for his loved ones, man. And, you know, rest in peace to Ace, man. Rest in peace to Ace. That was my guy, man. So, yeah, rest in peace to Ace, y'all. Just wanted to get that first part of the show, first part of the day. And then I'm going to show some love at the end, and I'm going to play something. I'm going to probably play a song of his, but just wanted to say that, man, get that out the way. I appreciate the condolences, man, and everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to Southern California, Justin Furlow. Uncomfortable Truth is in the building. Illmatic is here. J.R. Miller's here. Damon Harris is here. Grits and Gravy is here. All right, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. So, you know, I don't do as much surfing on the web as I used to. So I end up seeing things late. And one of those things that I saw late was this response from Kendra G that she posted on her YouTube channel. So if you guys don't know, or maybe some of you do know, recently Corey decided to go on the show and talk about an appearance that Kendra G had on Tamron Hall Show. And the clip that he played was a clip of Kendra explaining a style of dating or what it seemed to be what she prefers. So here's the crazy part. This is another reason why I wanted to talk about this too. The hypocrisy in going on your platform and playing a clip out of context and starting a narrative about somebody is something that Corey seems to hate so much when people talk about his show, or when people post clips or play clips of his show. It's kind of wild how you took a clip that you saw on the internet pass judgment about it without seeing it all in context, and then ended up shooting yourself in the foot because this person pulled up different receipts. And on top of that, if it wasn't for her responding, a lot of people probably wouldn't even have known the full context of that conversation. I remember seeing him talking about it while he was live, and watching the live chat and watching a bunch of people like, damn, this bitch thinks she this, that. She thinks she this, and how she thinks she worth that, and she ain't worth shit, and all this other shit. Doing exactly what the internet does best. Take a situation, a clip of a situation, not even the full context of a situation, don't even know what it is, and then forming an opinion or judgment on it. Now, it's not the chat's fault, because at this point, Corey being somebody who is leading his platform, leading his show, he has a responsibility to report on things factually in the right way, especially when you have such a disdain for other YouTubers who mention you or talk about you or your show. You would think that whoever sent him that clip, because you know somebody had to send him the clip and say, man, look what this motherfucker said. You would think that this person would have did their due diligence, because at this point, let's say Corey didn't find this on his own. Let's just say somebody sent it to him like he normally says happens. People send him things. That person should be also held liable, because you're sending something to somebody who has a major platform, who has a lot of people watch him all at once, and then you give him some information to run with. He uses the information, and then it gets turned back on him, Uno reverse card, to the point where it makes him look stupid, and it made him look like he didn't do what he was supposed to do, and on top of that, get put on blast for doing the whole, oh, she ain't shit, but in the past was trying to get at her. It just did not look right. So what Kendra did was she went on her platform and she decided to respond to Corey by making a video, posting the receipts of the show and everything in full context, as well as past clips of Corey shooting his shot at her after saying that she didn't look good, or implying that she didn't look good, especially sitting next to Tamron Hall. All right? Now check this out. Fair use.
I want to talk about the sister Kendra G. She made a goddamn fool out of herself.
Today, I'm gonna give a gift to Corey Holcomb. Oh, Corey Holcomb, you're going out sad, baby. You are going out sad. But this is my gift to you, because I know this is what you wanted. Because this is how you pay your bills, off of content from the internet. And it's just so sad because, you know, we just had so much high hopes from you. Like, you could have been in the list of Chicago comedian legends that came to LA and did big things. Look at Lil Rel. Oh, the career is just going up and up. Late night talk shows, movies.
The first person she mentioned, Lil Rel, being somebody who Corey recently been getting into it with, or not even getting into it, just talking about. And I think Lil Rel did mention Corey, but in that situation, I had like mixed feelings about it, but I also saw the divide and how people took it. They took it as, oh, he took a chance to go on Shannon and take a chance to take a jab at Corey because of things Corey said about him, or whatever the case may be, or things that Corey said about other people, which is what he referenced. He referenced Corey talking about another comedian and being like, man, like, did you like on some, basically, did you really have to do that type of stuff? Like, there's no point in that. Like, and giving him his props at the same time. I think as a man, when you hear somebody explain themselves and not use no type of malicious intent, and you can tell that they're trying to talk in a way where they're trying to hold respect for you, as well as not necessarily critique you or just give their opinion on how they feel about something if they disagree. As a man, you should be able to take that and understand where they're coming from, or even have a conversation with that person and be like, all right, I understand where you're coming from with that. I feel differently. Agree to disagree and move forward. Because when you start hearing a lot of these people that have problems with Corey, the main thing that they all have in common is that they respect him as a comedian. So these people are fans, or maybe light fans of Corey in some type of way, and then they'll get into it and be like, yeah, you're funny, but you're like a shitty human being. So now she's going for the people who Corey has beef with and also people who Corey may be cool with, which also breeds a divide. Because a lot of the times when people spark narratives and you start hearing people talk about it more, you start seeing it in the comment section more, or people behind the scenes talking about it, bringing it up to you, now you start to build some type of animosity towards somebody who y'all weren't directly beefing, but somebody else brought them into a fold to compare, and it made you feel some type of way because your ego couldn't take it. But let's keep going.
Oh, Chicago legend, just hosted the Image Awards, countless TV shows, working with Oprah in movies. D-Ray Davis, oh, the resume is too long for me to even stay in this conversation. Countless TV shows, tours around the world. Then we have Corey Holcomb, a Chicago YouTuber. You could have stayed in Chicago for this shit. I mean, you didn't have to move to California to be a YouTuber, Corey. Now, I really thought long and hard before doing this video because I know this is what you want because this is how you pay your bills. And I know giving you attention indirectly helps you because it gives you content to talk about, but that's why I'm calling this video my gift to you. This will help you pay your mortgage next month, okay? Okay, let's get into it. Now, recently, Corey Holcomb tried to break down my Tamron Hall interview on his show, but he tried to slander my name on purpose, intentionally, by presenting the Tamron Hall interview I did in a wrong manner, okay? Tamron Hall personally invited me on her show to break down different dating trends and different dating styles. Tamron Hall says at the top of the show, I'm gonna go to these two women, me and another young lady, to break down different dating trends and styles. Take a look.
Okay, so my team found 2025's most talked about dating trends and catchphrases. These ladies are going to break it down. I gave you some of them at the beginning of the show, so don't feel badly if you've never heard of them. Because
now this is the clip of it in full context of what they're talking about. Shout out to Safe Zone, shout out to Soda Slim, Thomas B is in the building. Safe Zone said every female Corey talked ish about, he also tried to holler at. That seems like a trend, don't it? He also said he was bogus as hell for clipping that like he did just to make her look bad. Well, also, he should have known, unless he was trying to do it for clout, and not even clout, but just for the entertainment factor of it, just to cause some shit, because he knows that the constant circulation of drama is going to continue to feed the channel. He could have been doing it on purpose, or maybe, like I said, somebody sent him a clip and he took the clip for what it was instead of watching it in full context and just assumed that was just the type of woman she was. Thomas B said Corey got lucky she didn't know about him pushing Christina in the face. I feel like she does, but that's like, now that it's like a legal thing, that's a tricky thing to be talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with me, when I talk about it, I gotta be careful how I mention things or talk about certain things, because now it's a legal battle.
I had never heard of that either.
First one that Tamron Hall does is called future proofing. And she asked me directly, Kendra G, to break it down. Take a listen.
And I didn't look them up because I want to know how you define them. Future proofing.
Yes.
Kendra.
Oh, you gotta have a job. You have to have an ambition that's gonna go somewhere for sure. I wanna see W-2 forms. I wanna see success records. I wanna meet your mama. I wanna know where you live. Is it in your name? And I'm talking from the woman's perspective.
Yeah.
So they're like, I don't wanna make you be already made. I don't got clay. I'm not magic.
But guys don't want that either. They don't want to make us.
Well, true, but the thing with guys...
And they don't want a broke lady.
Well, no, I don't know though. Some men...
Guys, I'm speaking...
I think men want a broke lady, but they also don't want a lady that's gonna be too expensive. You know, wigs is $2,000, lashes is $300.
Okay,
you know, shoes is $1,000.
Are you easing into high maintenance?
Yes, well, I think that, yeah, that's real high.
And you're owning, so 2025 people are owning the high maintenance?
Well, women feel like this is what I do for myself, so a man has to be able to do the same or more.
Why can't you keep doing it for yourself?
I agree with you, Tamron, but they're like, why if you here? If a man is here, why am I?
But you're not here for my wigs.
But they're feeling like this. Okay, I'm showing up for you. I'm giving you my energy. I am in your presence. You should pay for this. Now, I'm not saying I agree with
wait a minute. This is getting spicy in here.
But I'm with you, Tamron, because I feel like I'm my own money.
First of all, I just want to say I love the crowd's reaction, because that gives me faith and gives me hope that a lot of people find that to be wrong. You know, like it's not lost on us that there are people out there that feel this way. It's not an unknown thing that there are women out there that feel like you have to do everything for them, and that their version of love is just being there and existing because you need some coochie or something. Like they don't have no other qualities besides them just being a woman in your presence, and think that because they deserve certain things. It's like, nah, like there has to be a very healthy back and forth in that. And she was just giving an example of a type of woman. She was not talking about herself. She was talking about a type of woman, because she was asked the question about a specific type of woman, which is plastered on the back of the screen. You see right there, future proofing.
Don't back up now, kid.
Now, Corey Holcomb takes a portion of that interview and he intentionally makes edits to make it appear that I'm talking about myself, opposed to answering the question of what is future proofing. Take a look.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but I don't care. It's too funny. I had to say something about it. I want to talk about the sister Kendra G. She's a girl who used to do radio in Chicago that I met on the radio in Chicago. And I think she really flopped when she went on this show with Tamron Hall. And I'm gonna just play the clip first and let people watch. They might see what I'm talking about.
Hey, Toke Champ said she switched up when she heard the crowd. You think that's really what it was? Y'all think if the crowd would have agreed with her, she would have tried to act like she was on that for real? I mean, that might be true. I don't know. But I mean, the way that it played out, it don't look too good on Corey's end.
So can we play that clip?
Because even if that was how she felt about herself, she never came outright and said that that's who she was. Because she did say during that segment, I don't agree. So she can use that. Because even when somebody's backtracking and trying to backpedal out of some shit that they thought they was right about, you've seen it before. I know a lot of y'all have been in a situation where somebody was talking about something and then you didn't agree with it, and then they tried to backtrack up out of it and act like they weren't trying to, that's not what they meant, or they were just trying to give an example or some shit, but really they was trying to wait for the agreeance. They was trying to wait for you to be like, oh yeah, no, for sure. Niggas was like, nope, I'm not fucking with it.
All right, give it to me.
Just speaking because I heard you say it.
I don't think men want a broke lady, but they also don't want a lady that's going to be too expensive. You know, wigs is $2,000, lashes is $300.
Okay,
you know,
are you easing into high maintenance?
Yes, well, I think that, yeah, that's real high.
And you're owning, so 2025 people are owning the high maintenance?
Well, women feel like this is what I do for myself, so a man has to be able to do the same or more.
Why can't you keep doing it for yourself?
I agree. Why, if you here? If a man is here, why would you not?
So the person I want to know so bad, the person that sent him this clip, because they specifically left out a key part in this entire situation. You see how they skipped it? They set Corey up for failure.
This is what I do for myself, so a man has to be able to do the same or more.
Why can't you keep doing it for yourself?
I agree. Why, if you here? If a man is here, why?
Right before she said, I agree.
But you're not for yourself.
I agree. Why, if you here? If a man is here, why am I?
But you're not here for my wigs.
But they're feeling like this. Okay, I'm showing up for you. I'm giving you my energy. I am in your presence. You should pay for this. Now,
I just speaking because I heard.
Stop.
That's crazy.
See, the person that chopped it up, they set Corey up for failure. Also, Corey, you got to be more smarter than that to realize that a video is being edited or backed the fuck out. When somebody stops it abruptly, it doesn't play the whole thing. You got to be smarter than that. And I hope now, after this situation, that whoever sends you shit, because at one point he said he was telling people to stop sending them shit, but apparently that hasn't happened. You know, maybe it's his right-hand man. It has to be. He said it was probably Okay, if it was probably him, let's hear how hard the sound was when he switched the video.
High maintenance?
Well, women feel like this is what I do for myself, so a man has to be able to do the same or more.
Why can't you keep doing it for yourself?
I agree. Why have you?
Damn, you hear that thump? You hear that key thump like he pressed a space bar? That sounds like a heavy-fingered individual. That sounds like a fat finger that did that. I don't know. Let's hold on.
You here?
Let's go
If
back.
a man is here,
let's
Why
see.
can't you keep doing it for yourself?
I agree. Why have you? If you here? If a
That sounds like a very hefty finger. That sounds like a plus-size finger. That sounds like a big and tall finger. That sounds like water weight finger. You hear that thud? Interesting. But this is what Corey had to say in response
showing up for
to that.
you.
Listen.
I'm giving you my energy. I am in your presence. You should pay for this. Now,
I just speaking because I heard.
Stop.
That's crazy.
She made a goddamn fool out of herself.
now, if you watch the interview back, you will see that there's a moment when Tamron says, well, why can't, the woman just pay for the wigs herself? I said, I agree with you, Tamron. What I do for myself, so a man has to be able to do the same or more.
Why can't you keep doing it for yourself?
I agree with you, Tamron, but they're like, why have you, Well, in order for Corey to drive this narrative, he edited that one key part out. I feel like this is what I do for myself, so a man has to be able to do the same or more.
Why can't you keep doing it for yourself?
I agree. Why have you, here? If a man is here, why am I?
But you're not here for my wigs.
Because had he kept that in the interview, he would have revealed I was never talking about myself. Baby, I got enough money to take care of myself. I'm so thankful to God that I don't need no man to live the way that I want to live in this world. I am a blessed woman. Okay?
She about to flex
very
on him?
blessed and very grateful. I can buy my own wigs, my own
Nigga said BBW thumbs.
lashes, my own shoes. I can do whatever I want to do and happy to do so. So to try to paint the narrative that I said a man has to do that to be in my presence is just a lie. Now here's another really funny moment because see, Corey Holcomb thought the joke was on me. Whole time the joke is on you. Because there's also a moment in that interview when
I just want to say, full disclaimer, I roll the best joints in all of America. Y'all saw that live just now. This isn't a cone. I didn't pack it. I didn't stuff it. I rolled this.
Tamron
All right? The best damn roller in history.
says, well, a man doesn't want a broke woman.
They don't want that either. They don't want to make us.
Well, true, but the thing with guys...
And they don't want a broke lady.
Well, no, I don't know though. Some men...
Guys, I'm speaking.
And
Now, this is where it shifts. This is where it shifts. This is when it starts sounding like some of the people that review some of the things Corey says and calls out some contradictions, because once they brought up a dude not wanting a broke girl, it came back to bite Corey in the ass, man.
said, well, I took a moment because actually, Corey, you came to mind. You are on record saying you only date women who are in poverty-stricken situations because you can control them. They can afford to leave you. You represent men who prey on women who are less fortunate. These are words that you have said out of your own mouth.
Oh, Jesus.
You know this. You keep mentioning women in poverty. Why? Like, what's your
Well, I'm
admiration?
older now. I'm not as young as I used to be. So, women in poverty, I can control them better. A girl who can't afford to say, fuck you, Corey, I'm gone. She just can't afford to do it. So, I take advantage of that. Now, that might be wrong, but her poverty and my needs, most of the time, it even out. I don't really need a lot of their time.
Now, see, this is the thing. This is the thin line between being a comedian and being somebody who is trying to present yourself in a real way. Because as much as you can write things off as a joke, you can't do that when you are in real feuds with people. Because not everybody is going to be like, well, he's a comedian, I'm going to take whatever he says for a grain of salt. Especially when he speaks so so strongly about certain situations and certain things. He's very convicted in his opinions. She could spin this in a way where it's like, oh, he's trying to take advantage of women who are in poverty because he knows that they need the money, so he's taking advantage of women. Now, nobody's going to be like, well, you know, these women have a choice to mess with him or not. They don't need to be around somebody that's just using them because he knows that they need the money. But that's not going to be the case. They're going to hear the words taken advantage of and take that as Corey being synonymous with abusive. So to the person that said that earlier about him or her not mentioning the fact that he has a lawsuit on his hands for muffing Christina Payne, just simply putting something like that in the air is going to be something that can be contributed to the lawsuit at hand. You know what I'm saying? Or just continue on the narrative that Corey is some type of abusive guy towards women.
And they don't tell me to fuck off because they know when I come over, they children can get some
Hold up. God damn.
some outlet Jordans. Girls in poverty, because they have a deficiency. Poverty is a deficiency out here in America. I can fix your little deficiency if you do what I want you to do. I think it's an even exchange.
Another moment from the Corey Holcomb interview I want to break down. This was the part that had me laughing the most. Now, he proceeds to talk about my attraction level, and he says that Tamron Hall is a bad woman. And I agree. Tamron Hall is extremely beautiful. But I, on the other hand, am not as attractive.
I want to tell Kendra G something that she really needs to stop pretending about this as well. Tamron Hall is a bad.
Super bad.
Her problems ain't your problems. Kendra, if a motherfucker wake up arguing with you, you're gonna be like, get your monkey ass out my face. It's a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Now, that doesn't bother me. Man, you could call me a 0. It would not hurt my feelings, okay? You could call me a -5. I would not care because who's ever judging me, I don't want you back. So we have a match. You don't want me, I don't want you. But the reason why it's funny for Corey Holcomb to say that, Corey Holcomb is on record trying to holler at me for years.
Holy. Rax Vivo said your mic volume been low for 2 episodes now, brother. I just asked this question at the top of the episode. I just asked, is my mic loud enough? Let me turn it up. Can y'all hear me more? Is that better? Is that louder? Let me know. Let me know. Nigga, please. Also, that's a lot of titty bouncing up and down, man. We gonna have to, Kendra, you gonna have to chill out with jumping up and down on the screen right now. You got a lot of tittyage going on up here. I don't think YouTube gonna like that. You know what I'm saying? They gonna think I'm trying to do something else. Chill out. All right? Sit still.
Years. I have receipts. I have public receipts. Actually, Corey Holcomb was on my dating show trying to holler at me. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
But what's up with you?
I'm not available, Corey, but you and I are not a good. This is no way I would ever date a person like you, Corey.
Why? What you looking for? No,
I'm gonna invite you to my wedding, Corey.
I wouldn't go because I'll be trying to flirt with you when he go to the bathroom. You got a boyfriend?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I gotta wait this out again. Get you. One of these years, I'm gonna get you.
I was single for a very long time.
I'll be tricking too.
You do?
I'm a trick. I see the struggle in them. That's what I chase strugglers.
All right, Corey Holcomb is hanging out with us.
I chase strugglers. Why would I chase a girl? Look, you got a job. You see how hard it is for me to get with you?
You got a job.
I've been trying to smash her since I saw her, but it just...
Never happened.
Hey, yo.
All them radio girls, when they lose their radio job, I get them.
Damn. And somebody just said in the comment section, he sounds like a predator. That is some predator words. But like I just said, it's a thin line between being a comedian and trying to pass off as some real shit. So that's where he can get away with it at. But it doesn't escape how it sounds. It does sound predatory, but at the same time, like I said, those individuals in question, the women that he's talking about, have a choice. Do I think Corey's the type that if he gets refused, he gonna try to take it, or he gonna try to force his way? Hell no. We already saw the instance of that. You know, Christina Payne tried to say, oh, he got me a hotel here when I was trying to be on his show, and he tried to force his way up into my room. Now, you hear some shit like that, you thinking Corey is at her front door, beating on her door like, man, bitch, let me in, I'm trying to get that pussy. When in reality, he hit her up on her phone and asked if he could come up there, and she said no, and that was the end of that. So no, Corey's not gonna be. He's not. I don't take him as that type. But the things that he's saying, clearly, he's preying on less fortunate women because it's easier for him. It's just easier for him, and he's not like he's lying to get at him. He's literally on public platforms telling you what type of person he is. So if any woman decides to mess with him, you know what you're getting yourself into. So you can't really call him a predator. You can't call him somebody that's out there like, because those guys, they be trying to try to do the sneaky shit and try to get people and try to do, you know, real predator type things. He may be preying on them. He may be trying to look for a specific type of women. But at the end of the day, they do have a choice to mess with him or not. You know what I'm saying? And let's see how she responds to this.
10 years from now,
No, 10 years
you
from now.
belong to me.
Whatever.
Corey Holcomb in the studio, Chicago. We are coming right.
You know what? Let me break down the last interview I just played, because in that interview, Corey says out of his own mouth, he's been trying to have sex with me for years, but because I have a job, I won't go. But one day I'll lose my radio job and then I will belong to him. Well, let me talk about the facts. I didn't lose my radio job. I actually quit my radio job. That is when the Kendra G hate began from Corey. I've been hosting my dating show for 5 years. I just showed you Corey Holcomb was once on my show. No one cared. No one cared about my little old dating show when it was just on Instagram. But as I grew, the jealousy, the envy for my success grew. In the beginning of this, I said, this is my gift.
Yeah, she said
to
you
Corey
jealous,
Holcomb,
fam.
because I know.
She used that shit she was using on Tony Baker against you, man. She said you jealous and envious of her career blowing up. You know, she did say in that clip, on that radio clip, don't play with me, Corey, I make more money than you. He didn't respond to that. He probably just wrote it off like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. Well,
in the end, this really works in his favor because he's only relevant when relevant people speak about him, which he knows how to make money off of content. So that's why this is your gift. But Corey, I just got to be honest with you. I know you're the comedian, but you're also the joke. Only people who are miserable follow your page because misery loves company. Anybody with any sense, anybody with any merit, they are praying that their daughters never date a man like you. They are praying that their sons never grow up to be sad and a loser like you.
whoa, chill. So let me read some of y'all comments in here. Big Hank says Corey stays and lives in character publicly. 6609 ENT said, don't sound like a predator to me. Sounds like he being up front in his state choice. Okay. Still Elise said, playing devil's advocate. Could this all just be dark humor jokes? Doesn't excuse it, but it's hard to find the lines of a comedian. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And we talk about it here. The fact that you have to be aware of that when talking about these things is important, because you can't really fully take somebody. You gotta learn somebody's mannerisms and how they act or when they say certain things that they find serious. So like for Corey, for instance, with Corey, what I've noticed is when he's serious about something, he's not gonna put a joke in between it. It's just that simple. He's gonna wait until later on after he's getting his point across to crack a joke to have the comic relief. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you watch the 5150 show, if Corey's talking about something that he really actually feels for real about, strongly about, he's gonna go off about it for a period of time, and then he'll add a joke in there, or he'll add some type of animated relief. Like when he's talking about somebody, he goes, bitch, like some shit like that. Like he's trying to bring the comic relief, but he's also very serious and very, in what he's saying, he means. But then there's the moments where he's just talking about some shit and adding jokes in between and being kind of just joking about some shit. It's just in his demeanor. You know what I'm saying? His demeanor is different. And you could just tell if you watched him for a long time, you could tell when Corey's just joking or when he's serious about something. CDTB said, trust me, ninjas is doing the same thing when they ride past a bus stop. For real. Southern California said she doesn't know Corey-isms. Ashante, what's going on? She said, he's very much a predator for two reasons. The first, if he can't hit it, he will slander you on his show. And two, to go after women who are less fortunate. Hell yeah, he's a predator targeting the vulnerable. Now, that's the question, man, is like, it's like, this is why I say him saying it publicly is different from just like the regular average Joe who's just walking around town trying to meet women to find out if they're struggling or not. Like, that's somebody who's preying on, it's just my opinion. We probably have different opinions on this, but I feel like if he's publicly telling you what he's on and you run into him and you know who he is, and I mean, it's going to be hard for you not to know, because I'm pretty sure most of the women that he comes in contact with are people that know him or know of him. So it's going to be hard not to know what this man is about, because he's meeting women at the places he works, aka the comedy clubs and different scenes around Hollywood and different things like that. So all I'm saying, she said Diddy said it publicly too. No, he didn't. Diddy did not say anything about having freak offs and having multiple men run trains on his girl, and also him being participants in giving other niggas back shots in his freak offs. He's never done that. Never in life has Diddy done that. He may have shown signs publicly. We may have been able to see signs of it and speculate, but Diddy has never once ever came out and said that he participated in any of the things that he is now currently being accused of. Nobody knew about 1,000 baby oil bottles, until they confiscated them motherfuckers from his mansion. You know what I'm saying? So it's different in that sense. Corey's literally telling you, I like women in poverty-stricken situations because it's easier and they know they need me at the end of the day. So if you are somebody who chooses to be with somebody who is saying this, then you also share collective blame in whatever it is that happens, whether you get your heart broken or whether this nigga leaves you or whatever the case may be. You put yourself in a situation where you knew that this man did not mess with you like that at all, but because it was convenient for him, he was around you. Simo said they need to stop beefing. Corey loves women who make bad decisions. Kendra's show full of women who make bad decisions. Yeah, they all gonna after they leave her show, they just gonna be able to fall right into Corey's arms. If anything, he should be watching her show and figuring out which women he could go and holler at and shoot his shot at, because clearly those are the women he'd be looking for. Jabbar said, bro, long story short, she ain't let him hit. Rax Vivo said, Corey be checking who's gonna take the bait. Keep sliding in these DMs, bro. It's a numbers game. Safe Zone says, she talking facts though. You don't want your son like him or daughter dating a guy like him. Shit. 6609 ENT said, if he's a predator, everyone who advertises to you or sells you things everybody can be called a predator in one way or another. Women prey on men with money. Ooh, women do prey on men with money. That is very factual. Safe Zone say he came for that woman for no reason. That's just bully shit. She was minding her business. Now, that's another thing I think people forget, because once somebody decides to finally respond to Corey, they take it the same way he does because of how he's presented it. Like, anytime Corey has like went in on somebody unprovoked and like has mentioned them several times on the show consecutively, as soon as that person responds and decides to say something back, then Corey feels attacked. And then the people that follow him or his, you know, cult fan base of 5150 chat room goons will be like, oh, this bitch don't know what she talking about, or she trying to come for Corey, or she hating and she this and that. It's like, nigga, this nigga was just talking about her for like 40 minutes on his last show for no reason. This person ain't even talking about him. You know, it's one of those situations, but it's also like I said, certain things happening in the culture. Kendra G is somebody who's popular in her sector. She's not somebody who is, in my opinion, they're not calling her up on mainstream platforms to do her show or anything like that. And I think it's the same thing for Corey Holcomb. But they have popular platforms and people are going to talk about it. So just like you know that she's popular enough for you to talk about her, Corey, you're also very popular enough for people to talk about you as well. It doesn't make them a hater. It doesn't make them somebody that needs to use you for anything. It just means that you have a popular platform and a lot of people pay attention to things that are said about you or when you say certain things. Talk Chance Podcast says, yeah, if you listen to him and still go for that, it's not him. Jabbar said, free Diddy, holy shit. Shanti said, he did say publicly like he was joking about making Danity Kane for sale in the streets, in the sheets, and one of them said that's exactly what he did to Don. Ooh, I mean, but still, like, everything that he's being accused of, like, we never saw Diddy coming out here saying that he was actively participating in certain things. You know what I'm saying? We know Corey's not joking about the women that he involved himself with because he would tell us stories about real instances of the women that he was involved with at the time, you know, and he would speak on what had happened with them. You know, like, for instance, I don't know if you saw this, Ashanti, but there was a girl from Detroit who Corey decided to talk about on his show. He didn't mention her by name. He just mentioned a very specific situation between them two and how she tried to ask him for money. He replied, hey, okay, if you send me that monkey, I'll send you some money right now. And she didn't. She went off on him and they never spoke again. The woman in question went on her YouTube page and revealed herself to the public. She went on this huge rant about how she met Corey or how they got in contact with each other, their conversations with each other, what really happened in her in her recollection of how everything happened. She tried to make it seem like Corey was trying to get at her basically on that predator shit as well. Like, oh, he was preying on me or trying to get me to do something. But when you see the text messages, because this woman was so thirsty to try to get this story out here and try to get some type of clout off of, oh, me and Corey had an interaction or whatever the case may be, she reached out to me and sent me a bunch of screenshots of text messages and, you know, different things like that, just trying to show me proof that her and Corey had an interaction. In this interaction, nothing shocked me at all. It looked exactly like who I expected Corey to be when he's talking to a female who he doesn't necessarily give a damn about. Because he's talked about it several times on his platform. So it wasn't like I was reading some text messages and be like, oh my God, like Corey saying some wild shit, or oh man, why you say that? Oh man, Corey crazy, oh shit. It was like, oh, okay, I expected that. Like the wildest thing out of that entire interaction was the fact that he sent a picture of some white lady spread eagle, like, hey, no, I want you to do it like this. I'm like, why would you? If you see the person, like if you see the person in question, the lady from Detroit, she's a black woman who has like size ZZZ breasts, and like the picture he sent her was like of some like skinny white lady with like no features but just butt naked and spread eagle. So it was like that probably didn't work because you sent it to a black woman. You're like, why are you sending me this white lady? Like, what is this? This is weird. But at the end of the day, nonetheless, nothing shocked me. And when you have narratives that start to get pushed about certain things, that's when it starts to become tricky. That's why I said it's you know, you got to tread lightly when you start calling people a predator and when you start calling them certain things, because it just, I mean, certain things like that stick without no type of evidence or no real validation behind And with this situation, her saying things like, you know, Corey preying on the weak or whatever the case may be, it just looks like he's the type of guy that will, it's just abusive behavior. And that type of atmosphere, that type of narrative already surrounding his name, it just don't look good at the end of the day. Still, Elise said Kendra's voice is what makes her unattractive. Holy, I couldn't hear that voice for more than 5 minutes. Oh, well, damn. She said, good show. Appreciate you, Ashanti. I really do appreciate you and your input in the live chat, for real. Subliminal Frequency said, I have seen clips of her podcast, and it does seem like she's promoting gold digging, but I would have to see more of her to judge. Yeah, I would have to watch more too. I don't find that type of content interesting to me, because, like, for one, in my opinion, relationship podcasts or like talking about relationship advice is so subjective to the person that's giving the advice. Like, we've all gone through our own personal situations in life, but the one thing is, even though a lot of people may have some of the same tendencies in relationships, whether they be negative tendencies or positive tendencies, at the end of the day, you are dealing with a whole individual. You know what I'm saying? A whole different type of human being than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's probably been cheated on. Everybody's probably been lied to. Everybody's probably been deceived, and, you know, everybody's probably lost trust in somebody. But all those different instances happen differently for people. It may have ended up in the same result as far as you losing trust or you feeling betrayed, but in that situation, something happened specific to your relationship. Now, you can give relationship advice, but when it just turns into a thing where everybody's talking about the same thing and nobody's really learning anything, nobody ever really comes away from these things more happy or more satisfied or even knowing more about themselves, because they're so focused on what happened to them and the other person on the other end. See, that's another thing. Like, see, me, if I'm giving relationship advice, the first thing I'm doing is not trying to go down the list of things that everybody did to you. I'm going to try to find out who you are, and if you know who you are and what you truly want for yourself and out of life before you start talking about everybody else. Because once you get there, and then we start talking about the reasons why this happened, or the reason why you're not with this person, or the reason why you don't want to start dating over here, you start realizing it yourself, because you're already starting the self-reflection. You're already being self-aware about who you are and what you want and what you desire out of life. That's how I maneuver things like that. You know, I can go in here and talk relationships all day. I could be like, see, that's another thing. A lot of people have no idea what I like. If I was to go down the list of a bunch of things that I've been through over the past year, since last year, if I was to sit here and talk about everything that has happened and what I've gone through in my relationship life, y'all niggas would be like, damn, you should just start doing that type of content. Like, you got a lot of shit, like the realizations, the common sense behind it all, the logic behind it all, and just learning from certain things and knowing what to do and what not to do and how to move and how not to move. That's important. Being self-aware and taking accountability is important. A lot of people lack that because we're in a society of people that like to blame other people first. You got to think about it. When these people go on the internet, they're not talking about their life like that. They're trying to find what's going on with everybody else's life so they can have an opinion on it. And they can have some type of viral statement about, oh, this person fucked up, or this person ain't this, or this person ain't shit, or, oh, this person cheated again, or this person, oh, why is this celebrity treating this celebrity who ain't in a relationship like that? Like, nobody's ever really self-reflecting or having any type of accountability, so they try to escape it every chance they get. And if you're doing that on the internet, there's no way you're translating that to real life either. So you got a bunch of people walking around feeling like they don't do shit wrong, when most of the time you probably are. A lot of people are selfish. A lot of people don't want to change for the better or to try to adjust certain things about themselves to not compromise, but to suit the person that you want to be with. Because a lot of people don't really want to be with motherfuckers. It's an infatuation phase too. That shit runs so high in society, infatuation. where people will think that they feel a certain type of way about somebody, but they really don't. They just infatuated with the idea of something. Like, I've never got into a relationship where I didn't fuck with the person that was in front of me. I never got into something where I was like, oh, I have this idea about what I want this to be like and this, that. I like to learn somebody. I like to talk to somebody and get to actually understand the individual, or like really see how they act or how they move, for the purpose of wanting to actually be around them. Because if I don't even want to be around you, it don't matter how fine you are, it don't matter how bad you are, it don't matter what you do. I move different when it comes to that type of shit. That's all I'm saying. Miss Universe, what's going on? I think I said that right. Oh, Miss Universal. Hey, I like that name. That's dope as hell. What's going on? The Reaper said the broad got a deuce and a quarter ran into her crib. Yeah, safe zone, yeah. That girl that I was talking about from Detroit had a car run into her house, and she texted it to Corey and asked him for like $300 or like $400, $500 or something like that. And Corey was like, I'll send it to you, but you got to send me the monkey. And she said, hell no, who you take me for? I would have replied, well, who do you take me for? Somebody that'll help you rebuild your house, and I don't even know you, never met you a day in your life? What the fuck? Who do you take me as? You obviously take me as a sucker. They don't talk about that part. They don't want to mention that. They'll love to like paint you a certain way, but never. That's what I mean by that self accountability. You never take accountability for your actions. Why are you asking this man you have never met, ain't never gave no booty to, ain't never supported in any other way? You ain't even throw him no ducats. But seeing as you have something happen to you, you think, oh, the biggest contact that I have, the biggest opportunity I have to get some money out of this is texting Corey Holcomb. Well, you would have been $300 richer if you just took a snapshot of that thing down there, but you didn't. Now, I'm not saying you wrong, because it's your choice. At the end of the day, your coochie, your choice. So I don't blame her for not sending it. But don't get mad at somebody because you ran. Like, this is where the logic comes in, because a lot of people are illogical, irrational, and delusional. What they'll tend to do is only look at the one side of it. So you seeing how he acting, you're like, oh, that's disgusting. He's asking me for pictures of my private parts for me to be able to get some money from him. Well, what makes you think he's supposed to help you with anything? He didn't drive that car into your fucking house. And how does he even, matter of fact, how does he even know that is your house? That probably happened down the street. You heard the sirens, looked outside and said, oh shit, a car is in somebody's fucking house, and ran outside, took a picture of it and said, well, this is my moment to trick this nigga. Where's the receipts of what happened, huh? If that really did happen, matter of fact, why don't we gonna ask her, because I know she be shadow watching this sometimes. She'll pop up every once in a while in my chat, try to talk some shit, because she mad that I wasn't down with the program. You know, I kind of tricked her into telling me everything that happened, and then once she did, I was able to dispel certain things and bring out the contradictions in her stories, and kind of make her look like she was seeking certain things for her own benefit and not for the fact that she felt like she was done wrong. She didn't like that part of me. But you got to understand, think about that. How is that's another thing. How in the hell is $300 going to fix a whole car running through a house? The whole story was dumb as shit. I didn't believe it off top. You, out of everybody in America, had a car fly through your house, so now you need money? You thinking about the people that really think it's easy because they look a certain way to get money out of men, because they feel like, because there are a lot of simps. There are a lot of guys out here who will do that. These are the guys that faithfully be having subscriptions on OnlyFans and be paying for 7-day-old underwear and shit. Like, them niggas will keep women rich for the rest of their lives. As long as these type of men exist, y'all can go ahead and get it back. But it's some women that don't know who these guys are. And they be thinking that it's most men, so when they interact with a man like Corey, they'll think to themselves, oh, he's a trick. He's this and that. He'll give me some money. He'll help me out. So what she did was she sent him a picture of her titties, I believe. Now, don't quote me on this. I'm trying to go back to this story in my head. I do know that she said she sent him a picture at first, but he said that wasn't enough. Now, I'm assuming she sent a picture of her titties, and he was like, that's cool. You got some big old jugs, but that's not what I'm asking for. I want to see that orangutan. Put that ape on my screen. I want that hairy chimpanzee on my cellular device. And I want it spread eagle like this. And then I'll send you what you need. She said no. Who do you take me for? A whore? He was like, yes. If you want this money. Now, I digress, but just know that it's a tricky narrative, because this person said that Corey tried to and I'm using this word in place of another word that I can't say on YouTube, scrape her mentally. Just take the S and the C away and you'll know what I'm saying. She really tried to claim that he scraped her mentally because he was asking for a picture of something and didn't want to give her the money, or didn't want to give her the money she was asking for. So therefore, she felt like she was being scraped mentally. Not that they met up with each other and they hung out and he was trying to force himself on her physically while in each other's presence. No, because a text message made her feel that way. When I heard that, I said, oh, the agenda is agendaing. We're not letting that happen. That's when I decided, okay, I'm gonna have to go live and dispel this whole situation. I think I did a great job. As a matter of fact, I feel like I did such a great job that Corey's dumbass was confused by what happened and tried to challenge me to a fight. Instead of his dumbass using his antennas and his common sense to see that we just dispelled somebody that tried to put you out there. Now, she could have went to anybody else. She could have went to Tasha K, who hates you. She could have went to T.S. Madison, who hates you. She could have went to TMZ. She could have went to a plethora of other comedians and platforms. She could have went to Pierre. She could have went to so many different people. She could have went to whoever she wanted to who didn't like you and try to spread this story, and they could have manipulated and twisted it however they wanted to. But guess whose hands it landed in? Mine. And guess what I did with it? Showed the truth and dispelled the fallacies and moved away the delusions that left people saying, damn, Corey is who he say he really is when it comes to these women, and getting her up out of here. Which it did. Like, it did exactly that. But I ain't expecting the motherfuckers to be that smart, man. They get into it over less. And also, they're provocateurs. What did Donnell Rollins say? You're a provocateur. You're an agent of chaos. Anyway, I'm pretty sure tomorrow night Corey's gonna have some choice words for Kendra. She did release this 3 days ago, so we're gonna see where this goes, if he decides to respond and what he's gonna say. We know it's gonna be a lot of things where he's gonna, I love doing the prediction because I want y'all to see it tomorrow. This is one of my predictions of one of the things that he's gonna say during his show. He gonna say something now. Don't quote me specifically, but it's gonna be along the lines. It's gonna be in this realm of, yeah, I tried to hit, but it's only because I just wanted to get a nut. Something to downplay him trying to get at her multiple times. He gonna downplay the shit out of it and try to act like it was just another coochie he was trying to hit on the roster and it didn't mean shit. Mark my words. Also, he is going to attack her looks. He is going to say that she's trying to look lighter than what she did. Play that video. Look at the difference. You see her right here? Now, look at this. Now what she look like right there? The bitch trying to get lighter. I can see it right now, bro. I can see it happening right now. I can hear it. I don't watch so many episodes. You can just guess. You can see how it's gonna play out. But either way, y'all gonna see when that time comes. All right, we gotta get to more topics so I got some other things I need to do. But let me read some of y'all comments before we move forward. Subliminal Frequency said, "What the hell does that mean? This world has truly lost its mind." Yeah, I know. You talking about the mentally scraped thing? Yeah, that was super wild. I never thought I would hear that, but you never know. Some people go to an ultimate low. Safe Zone says Kendra G got some nice Dolly Partons too. Yeah, I said earlier she had to chill out on doing the bouncing and doing the movements. You know what I'm saying? They were shaking too much in the camera, and YouTube, they'll start thinking that we trying to watch some things on the XXX side of the game, and we can't do that. Miss Universal said, Corey dumb as hell. Subliminal says she felt a way about him being him after, a way about him being at him after she asked him for money and they don't know each other. You exposed her and Corey couldn't catch that. Wow, dunce is a dunce. Yeah, he didn't catch that at all. I think because, I wasn't trying to outright be on some, I got you, bitch. Like the way that I set that show up, it was like, oh, I found this information and blah, blah, blah. And then if you watch the episode, you see how I gradually get to the point of, something ain't right here. You know what I'm saying? This don't seem to, here's this and here's that. Oh, that don't sound right. Oh, I don't agree with that. Oh, but Corey said he does this. Corey said he's like this. So, like when you see the episode, it was orchestrated beautifully. It was there for entertainment, but it was also there to dispel the things that she was trying to say or try to put light over or try to spread a narrative around Corey in a certain way. Shout out to Justin for the 2 in the super chat. Thank you for supporting the GMS show in a big way, man. And y'all can do the same thing. If y'all want to donate to the GMS show, y'all can hit the super chat, or y'all can become a member of the show, or you can hit the Cash App, which is in the description below. If you hit the description box below this video, you'll find my Cash App and links to other things like my music, beats, and all that stuff. He says you got his mannerisms down to a T. I mean, you watch a nigga for so long, and if you've been watching my show for a long time, I do decent impressions, man. I do decent impressions. Like there's certain impressions that I've done on this show where people was like, "Damn, that's good." So I mean, I do them every once in a while. I don't like to toot my own horn, but if you ever watch this show, you know we be on point. So Chips. Safe Zone said, and Darlene gonna sit there and look stupid as usual. Damn, Darlene catches some strays. Miss Universal said, at this point, Darlene is literally just an NPC. Yeah, she just be sitting there agreeing with everything and like just trying to go along to get along. And a part of that is because she don't want to be the butt of the joke, or she don't want Corey going at her. Like if you somebody that can't roast back, or somebody that can't take jokes well, or you get ganged up on, you want to try to escape that as much as you can. So you try to agree with the person, or you try to do things in favor of the person. It doesn't ever really work, because once you get around to D's loose talk, she'll say some shit that makes Corey be like, "CD, now you bullshitting." But nonetheless, they're the unofficial old married couple that are just gonna be around each other forever. All right, so let's get to more of these topics today. I gotta move along because I got some other things I need to accomplish during the day. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this, but a couple days ago, Blacc Sam, this is the older brother of Nipsey Hussle, who is now in charge of a lot of the things All Money In and the Marathon brand. He has now extended the Marathon brand into a food chain now. So now they have Marathon Burgers, which if you are somebody out in the California area, you have a Marathon Burger next to you, I advise that you support it. Support these black businesses, man, and do your due diligence. Go get you a Marathon burger. They look good as shit too. I'm not even gonna lie. Those burgers look good as hell. Like it, like it was the same thing when I seen Trill Burgers. I don't know about y'all, but if there's anybody in this chat right now that has seen the videos of Trill Burger, ain't no way you watch that shit and feel like you don't want to go get one. Like, it's like, all right, bud, hurry up and make the chain, bro. Get this shit out here in Minnesota. Get it over here in New York. Get it over. Like, that, I don't even, and now here's a surprise. I'm a big nigga, all right? 6'5", 275 pounds, approximately. You would think that I eat cheeseburgers, but I do not eat cheeseburgers. I don't like cheese on my burgers. Gas, blasphemy, I know a lot of y'all that eat cheese in y'all burgers probably turned this shit off and was like, you fake fat fuck. How you not eating cheese on your burgers? I just don't. It never tasted right to me. I've never been a cheeseburger type of dude. I am a hamburger with ketchup, lettuce, pickles, and like bacon or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta have some moisture to it, but it cannot have no cheese. All right. Now, with that said, I've looked at a Trill Burger, cheese and all, and said, I'll try it. I said, give me one with cheese on it. I'll try it. I'll try it for the culture. I'll do it for the free. That shit looks so motherfucking good. I don't even eat onions on my burger. I looked at them grilled onions. I said, nigga, put onions on the bitch too. Put onions on the goddamn shit. All right? Double patty that motherfucker. I'll take 2 Trill Burgers at that. That shit look good as I have never in my life looked at a burger the way that I looked at a Trill Burger. Somebody in the chat got to vouch for me. And then they did the best promo you'll ever see in your life. He just went around to all his celebrity and rapper friends and just gave them Trill Burgers to try. And every time they ate them motherfuckers, took a bite in them motherfucker, I was sitting there like, God damn it. I said, Bunular. OG. Trill, triple Trill OG. Fam, send me one in the mail, goddammit. I'll eat that bitch cold. I was fucked up about a Trill Burger, man. Bun, if you ever see this, man, get a Trill Burgers out to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I promise you, it'll sell out. Now, I went on a tangent. I went on a fat nigga tangent. My bad. Let's move back to this. So, there was the grand opening of a Marathon Burger out on Melrose. Nipsey's brother, Blacc Sam, was out there. And an individual who you see in this video standing in front of Blacc Sam, he goes by the name of Roccstar. Roccstar is somebody who grew up in the same neighborhood as Nip, have known Nipsey and his family since he was a young teenager. I think he said 13, 14 years old. So he looks at them as family, so to speak. And this is just coming from his recollection of the situation. And after Nipsey passed, we saw a lot of people pay their respects. We saw a lot of the ways that people revered him. But then, of course, as you can see, as time went on, you start hearing certain things, or the real feelings of certain people start to come out, of people that really didn't care about the situation or care about Nipsey, or looked at him or hated on him, or, you know, was envious of his success. You start seeing or hearing people say certain things about him that aren't in favor of him, which they probably would have never said if he was alive. Now, granted, he still has a lot of people that ride for him that still are here on this earth and still walking as free men. But they also are very protected behind the internet and behind certain platforms. So, for instance, No Jumper. There's been a lot of Nipsey narratives running around No Jumper with different people that are involved, like Wack 100 and different people like that. There was even a mention of an alleged X-tape that involved Nipsey, Lauren London, and another dude. And I hate to put that out there in the atmosphere, because that's just like continuing the narrative or continuing the conversation about it. But just so you know, the type of levels of where people would go to try to discredit somebody or to try to put shame on another man's name who only was out here trying to do things to help progress, and not just his life, but the people around him and the youth that live in his neighborhood. I think certain things, like especially when it comes to certain people who start to try to dedicate their lives to try to servicing other people in their community, there's certain things you just got to let go. You know what I'm saying? Like if they out here being violent, or if they out here doing PDF file type things, or they out here being abusive or whatever, call them out. But a nigga that just had a sex tape, come on, bro. Like what's the point of even putting that out in the atmosphere without the intention behind it looking like you trying to embarrass him or trying to tarnish his legacy and his name? That has nothing to do with that man's purpose in life when he was still here. So I don't want to hear nothing about an alleged tape that's out here of anything. I mean, take it how you want. I know there's a lot of dudes out there be like, but if it's another dude, man, that shit weird. Man, who gives a fuck? It ain't you. It ain't me. There's been a lot of people out here that had a real, genuine focus on trying to improve their community and try to help their community, but there's people that want to see them fail at that because they're not the ones putting in that work or making the progress that that person is making. And then you have other people that join in on it thinking that they are protected or thinking that they know certain things or that they can get away with certain things, which landed this person in the spot that he's in now. So this guy, Roccstar, has had a relationship with Wack in the past. They've talked plenty of times on Clubhouse. Certain things that was said about Nipsey Hussle on Clubhouse that was very disparaging and negative. I'm assuming Blacc Sam has not seen this guy Roccstar since he's been mingling with people that have said disparaging things about his late brother. So when Roccstar pulled up to this Marathon Burger grand opening, things got a little chippy, and this is what happened.
Nipsey Hussle's brother, and he opened up a new burger.
So if you didn't catch that, because the music is in the background, also YouTube, don't try to stick my channel for that shit. He's saying any nigga that disrespects bro, you gotta get it cracking. And I'm assuming Roccstar replied, I do, or I did. And he said, no, you didn't. I watched you. Now, Blacc Sam is somebody who, to my knowledge, does not have social media. He's not on social media like a lot of people are. I don't think he has an Instagram or anything like that. I don't think he be on the internet like that. As far as like a personal profile. But never think that people don't see things who don't be on the internet. I mean, the internet has taken over people's lives. It ain't no way they don't see things about people that they know. I remember back on Fig, they were going through inner turmoil between each other. Schoolboy Q don't have, he don't be on social media like that. I mean, he may post himself golfing or some shit or promote some of his music that he just dropping, but from the most part, he don't be posting on his stories. He don't be active on Twitter like that. Like, he'll make posts to support people or promote himself, but he's not an active person that is posting every day, shit like that. But he made that call, like, why are y'all niggas embarrassing yourselves on this internet? I watch you niggas. Like, y'all my guys, I watch y'all, support y'all. Why are y'all out here acting like some fucking idiots? There's people that watch, even if they not active on the internet for themselves, they watching other things that go down, and especially when it has to do with Nipsey and being somebody who, you know, was tragically murdered like that, you can tell that Sam still has a lot of animosity and a lot of anger towards that situation.
That ain't what you want. That ain't what you want, nigga. No, get on that. That's what all my niggas are. Hey, watch out. No, listen. Don't come with it when it's life and act like when the niggas like some around. The niggas talking about Bro, get cracked. No, we can't holler. Yeah, we go. You coming right here, nigga. Look, holler about bro. The nigga got me. Show me though, nigga. I don't know. The demonstration. You talking to smaller niggas disrespecting bro. Did you get cracked?
Yikes. There's a little bit more footage here.
My niggas get cracked. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Don't listen, bro. Don't get all and be cool with me.
Them niggas was fitted to fitted, yelling at each other's face. And look at these guys videotaping the drama. Everybody outside with their phones out videotaping the bullshit instead of trying to calm it down.
Roccstar.
What's the issue?
I don't know.
Let's clear it out. This is a family affair. It's a family affair. Look. Don't have that, hold on. It ain't supporting me, nigga. Get cracking for both, nigga.
Damn, he said go that way. So this is the part where they start escorting this man across the street. He's telling them to go that way. I'ma holler at you. Go that way. You're not welcome over here. When you get it cracking for bro, then we'll talk. Now, of course, he's referencing the times that this man Roccstar has been around individuals who have said things about his late brother, and he never checked it. Now, you can't go around calling people your family for the sake of trying to look important or try to look cool or look like you got connections, because that's what a lot of niggas be doing out here. Let's talk about that. Y'all done been around people a couple times, and now all of a sudden they family and they people that you revere. Even if you grew up in the same neighborhood, that don't make y'all friends. That don't make y'all close. It don't make you family. I got a lot of people who I've known since I was a kid. I do not talk to these niggas. That does not make you family. And if I'm Blacc Sam in this instance, I'm not finna sit up here and play, oh, you the fam because we done known each other forever, while you sitting up there and not riding for bro, somebody who you talking about you consider family. You consider this man family, act like it, bro. And they have different politics. They got different rules out there in that area. Now, I'm not from that. I don't know nothing about that, but from what I see, I understand where they come from. I understand, hey, that's how y'all move. That's what y'all respect. That's where y'all morals stand at. Well, if you out there and you know about this shit, nothing should come as a surprise to you. It shouldn't have been a surprise to him knowing his past of things that he was involved in with people talking about Nipsey in a disparaging way and then thinking you're going to pop up to a marathon event and everything going to be cool. Now, they did walk this man across the street.
I know. All right, so we're going to holler. Let's just get to that. Let's get to that, bro.
He looked like he wanted to cry.
Bro, we all tripping on that, bro. We don't come with it. You know that, bro. We tripping on that, bro. Listen, bro. Listen. If the nigga ain't demonstrating for hustle, this is what I'm telling you. Don't come over here. Don't come over here trying to do. Then guess what? Go do something and come back. Go get cracking and come back. That's what I said, bro. All that internet shit does on. Listen. We're not big trying to holler at you, bro. It ain't hollering at me. A nigga disrespect, bro. You do what you supposed to do. Who disrespect, bro, to me? Don't nobody disrespect, bro. Any nigga that disrespect, bro, when you in their presence, you better smash. In their presence, ain't nobody disrespected, bro, in my prison. I'm talking on the internet. When you see it, that internet shit is weak, bro. When you see it, get cracked. When you see it, get cracked. I can't tell. You know what's happening. I can't tell, nigga. You know what's happening. I can't tell.
having a Blacc Sam.
I can't tell.
You hear that man in the background? He said, ain't nothing gonna happen to Blacc Sam. You goddamn right. You think they gonna let that? Do you think they gonna let a replay of what happened to Nipsey happen to his brother? You better know that everybody been on point since then. Because if we being real about it, they let that man down. There's no way that Nip should have been staying. I don't care if it was his own clothing store where he been at 100 times. Every single time he was there, niggas should have been on point. Niggas should have been outside with him. They should have been right there ready to blow back at the nigga. There was no way that this man should have been able to walk away, come back around the corner, get that close, shoot him, and walk up on him and do the extra shit that he did. At all. So you know that type of stuff is eating at the people that was around him when he was alive, because that's your job. You're supposed to protect the person that is out here providing for everybody. You're supposed to protect that guy. You're supposed to make sure nothing happens to him. So I know now they definitely not finna let nothing happen. Now let's get to the escorting. Because this is the part that a bunch of people was talking about.
You gotta go, bro. You got to. Come on.
They start pushing that man back into the street.
You gotta go, bro. I got you, DA. You gotta go, bro. Come on. Hey, Blacc Sam said you gotta go, bro. Blacc Sam said you gotta go.
Damn. They escorted that man across the street. You know what's even more messed up too? Is that he knew a lot of the dudes that was standing around, like, in that area. Like, a lot of those guys are cool with each other. So at that moment they had to pick a side, and they chose Blacc Sam's side. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to Nipsey, anybody that's involved with any type of disrespect with Nipsey, they don't play that shit. Respectfully. Grits and Gravy said, just hope he don't pull a shitty cuz. Now, this is another thing that bothered me, because that was something that was said by, of course, Wack 100, a real agent of chaos, a real provocateur, somebody who will go and provoke niggas on Clubhouse or through No Jumper or through academics platforms and several platforms, but will watch the chaos happen from behind closed doors. So in this instance, part of this that was being played, of course, you heard Blacc Sam say that the internet was an issue. He wasn't saying that somebody was in your face disrespecting Nipsey and you didn't do nothing about it. He was saying you sitting on the internet hearing people say wild shit. You see these people in real life, you supposed to do something about it. If that's family, if that's bro, if that's somebody who you don't play about, who you'll check somebody for, then go do that. So far, I ain't seen you do none of that, and you still cool with the people that was talking crazy about bro. So I understand that. But see, Wack is somebody who wanted a shitty cuz situation to turn around and happen after that happened. There was no, you see, and that's part of that ego shit and that humility where people don't want their ego to be bruised. They don't want to be the person to take accountability for their actions, so they got to crash out and do some shit to try to one up the situation or try to make it seem like, oh, I'm really that guy, or I'm really, or I'm real about this shit. I'm really gangster. I'm really somebody that'll really pull up and do some shit. You can't play with my name. You can't play with my character. You can't play with my manhood. Nah, being a man is taking accountability for the things that you've done wrong. Wack telling this dude he should have swung on Blacc Sam, got beat up horribly, and then came back and shot the place up. Do you know how stupid that sounds? Do you know how crazy that shit sounds coming out of somebody's mouth? Especially Wack. You calling for an entire event to get shot up because a man was refused entry or got told he had to leave because he wasn't welcome there. It's the most sensitive gangster shit I've ever heard in my life. Oh, you supposed to swing so that everybody around you, so you can get octopus swung on. Imagine an octopus with Jordans on every tentacle stomping you out. He wanted this nigga to damn near get beat to death so that he can come back looking like the nigga that was flattened on Don't Be a Menace to Society with a gun in his hand and blast that shit up and probably get other people killed or hurt and might not even hit the fucking target at hand. It's just some stupid shit. And you got somebody that's in their 50s talking like this. And got people co-signing it too at that. Like, listen to some of the stuff that Wack was saying, man.
Yo, Roccstar, I don't care what you say.
It's audio and video. So you telling me that nigga wasn't pressing you?
Wow. Bro, trust me.
Put that on Crip, that wasn't the press,
if it was
bro.
like that, I'm telling Cuz on to the side.
That ain't on to the side. That nigga said, nigga, oh, you ain't welcome. You gotta get up out of here. The nigga putting his hand in your face, shoving you, walk you across the street. Come on, bro, let's keep it real. Roccstar, you was supposed to got off, got up, double back, shut the store down. That's how I go, bro. Niggas banging. That's how I go, unfortunately.
You funny.
Respectfully, we not tripping on what a female would have did, because we men, respectfully. We are gang members.
Now, saying this shit at the tender age of 75 is crazy. Wack, never in like that shit. Y'all don't, does anybody else see how stupid that sounds? We are gang members. I feel like that shit is so outdated, man. That shit is so out of here. Like, this shit is lame as hell. Niggas don't do nothing but try to recycle the same negative habits inside of society and have niggas running behind them trying to be on the same shit. You not helping nothing. And it's crazy because these be the first niggas to try to say that they be out here doing shit for people or helping people or getting this guy a bag or doing that. Y'all ain't doing nothing but reinforcing some shit that's going to continue to keep people looking at black people as a whole as a joke. We are gang members. That shit is crazy to say at the tender age of 87, brother. Why aren't you commending this guy for not trying to take that route? For trying to sit there and take accountability or try to find an understanding with the person who he called family instead of leaving, lump the fuck up, coming back with a gun and shooting the shit up. Why would you at the tender age of 93 sit up there talking about we gang members, you gotta live by your crippin'? That don't make no sense to me. It's out of this world, the type of mentality that these niggas have. And somehow be moving through life succeeding in certain ways. Like, that's what make people think that this nigga's an agent, because ain't no way you out here really gang banging, but you getting all these opportunities and really making money through these outlets while being an active gang member. Ain't no way at the tender age of 137 you sitting up here being an active gang member. I don't believe it. I don't. It don't make no sense to me, man. And I would think that somebody at the tender age of 154 would realize that. But I mean, anything that will help them continue to make some coin, it don't matter what they do to society. It don't matter what type of stereotypes they continue to reinforce. Niggas will still be talking that we gang members at the tender age of 178. Fucking stupid, man. It's fucking stupid. Now, I do want to mention this too before we move along. Gene Hackman, I know you guys definitely heard about this. Him and his wife and their dogs were found in the home. Well, one of the dogs actually died. The other dogs were found safely. Two of the other dogs were found safely. But Gene Hackman and his wife were found deceased in their home. They said there were pill bottles sitting around by his wife. She was found in one room, and he was found in another, collapsed. Their dog was found in the closet. And it just seemed like a very odd story. And the fact that the police, like, seeing a scene like that and immediately trying to jump to, oh, there's no foul play, it just seems weird. You know, clearly there was foul play. You don't just find and then not just that, but rule out carbon monoxide or a gas leak. You ruled out two things that could possibly be one of the highest points of, you know, or one of the highest reasons of why you would find two people just randomly deceased in their house. But those were ruled out. So to get to a point of saying that, you know, there's no foul play involved, we need an investigation, man. We need an investigation. I say that because once we start getting to the point where we just ruling things out like this, and it has nothing to do with them being celebrities or anything like that. If this was your parents, if this was your loved ones, some people you cared about, and they were found days later in their home already getting to the decomposition stage, you would want to know what happened. You don't want people to just rule things out right away, especially if you don't know what happened. I mean, they ain't even mention trying to go around. Like, if they live in an area where people have, you know, ring cameras or surveillance around the area, you got to at least try to look. You know what I'm saying? You got to try to look for something. You got to try to do some due diligence. You can't just let somebody die like that in that way. You know, my first thought when I first heard about it was, oh well, I mean, that seemed like a possible murder, suicide. I can't say the word, but you know what I'm saying. A self-delete. But there were pill bottles laying around. There was no gunshot wounds, stab wounds, or, you know, no strangulation marks on necks. So it wasn't like Jean snapped or she snapped and something happened. I'm wondering if they took something, or if somebody came there to get rid of them, really there for Jean, but ended up killing the wife and doing something to the dog, or the dog getting into something, but gave them something to poison them and have them die that way. Because one of the details that stuck out to me was that in the bathroom where they found his wife, there was a heater that was on next to her. And if you pay attention to any crime documentaries or crime stories, anything like that, that has probably come up at some point in time, and that is for the sake of trying to hurry up decomposition. So when you hear about things like that, or when things like that happen, if you hear about a body was found and they were found next to a heater, possibly 9 times out of 10, or, you know, it's a great chance that they were probably killed and somebody put that there to try to hurry up the decomposition and, you know, basically delete evidence. Because once somebody becomes mummified, or when they become a skeleton, it's very hard to find fingerprints or DNA on that person. So just, you know, we're going to keep that updated for you guys when we find out more of that story. This was a video of the situation at hand. I'm going to play it so you can hear a little bit of the details, and then we're going to move on to the next subject.
Lost a giant.
Many questions remain about how the 95-year-old actor, his wife Betsy Arakawa, and one of their dogs died in their Santa Fe home. According to the sheriff, an initial autopsy of the couple showed no signs of carbon monoxide poisoning. And right now, the best clue into when Hackman died is his pacemaker, which the sheriff says last showed activity on February 17th, nearly 10 days before the couple was found.
According to the pathologist, I think that is a very good assumption that was his last day of life.
According to an affidavit, investigators have taken several items from the home, including heart and thyroid medications, medical records, a 2025 calendar, and 2 cell phones, which officials hope may help determine who the couple last had contact with and when.
Based on what you know about the conditions of both the bodies, who do you believe died first?
That's a very hard thing to determine. That's a question that we want answered.
Authorities say the bodies were found in separate parts of the nearly 9,000 square foot home. Hackman in a mudroom and 65-year-old Arakawa in a bathroom, where an open prescription pill bottle was on the counter along with scattered pills. The sheriff telling Savannah that's a key part of the investigation.
Do you believe it may be possible that that prescription could be related in any way to the deaths that we've seen here?
That's obviously very important evidence. We're looking at that specifically, and other medications, of course, that were in the possibly in the residence. So that is something of concern.
Last night's Academy Awards featured a moving tribute to the beloved 2-time Oscar winner from his friend and Unforgiven co-star Morgan Freeman.
Gene always said, "I don't think about legacy. I just hope people remember me as someone who tried to do good work." So
shout out to Gene Hackman, man. Rest in peace to that man, a film legend, and just a very weird and tragic ending to his life. It's so random, man. You never know what people are going through or what they're dealing with. I know that it may not be the same situation, but I do want to say, you know, if it does turn out to be a situation where somebody came there to kill him and his wife, it doesn't seem like that would be any type of motive behind somebody just trying to rob them. You know, like a lot of people get robbed in LA. A lot of celebrities get their houses broken into and robbed, but we never hear about the actual celebrities getting killed in those robberies. You know what I'm saying? When people are coming there for specific items or for money, that's what they want to leave with. They don't necessarily want to leave with a life. And the way that their bodies were set up, and, you know, his wife being next to a heater, it seemed like somebody actually wanted to take them out, if that is the case. And it also made me think about, you know, somebody like Jay Leno. You know, a couple months ago, Jay Leno popped up. He had, his whole face was grape purple. And he looked all bruised up and messed up, had his arm in a cast, all type of shit. And he claimed that he fell off of his bike down a mountain, or fell off of the side of a hill next to a hotel, and not just any hotel, but it was like a Holiday Inn or something like that. And like, Jay Leno is a damn near a billionaire. He's not staying at a random Holiday Inn somewhere. So just the story just didn't add up, and a lot of people felt like he was just kind of trying to cover up for maybe being in gambling debt or having the mafia after him or something like that. You know, a lot of these people, these celebrities with a lot of money and a lot of connections, they get to the point where they get into dealings with people, and because they have a lot of money and a lot of connections, they think that, oh, you know, if I owe these guys money, they know I'm good for it. So I, you know, or if they feel like they're too good to pay somebody, or they too connected, or they got enough money to pay for security or pay to get somebody harmed, they're like, oh, well, you know, F your money, I don't need that. Or F you, I don't need to pay you back. And then they run up on you somewhere and put you in the trunk like the old movies and shit. Put you in the back of a Tesla and drive off with your ass and beat the dog shit out you. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta think. You gotta think about shit like that. Now, a couple more things, man. In the like section today, we gotta talk. We gotta mention this. Do I wanna? Yeah, I'm gonna skip that. We don't talked enough about Drake and Kendrick. Unless something else happens, unless somebody else drops a diss track, I'm never gonna sit up here and waste time on talking about Kendrick or Drake. That's like beating a dead horse. We all know Drake lost the battle. We all know they're in some type of UMG war. We all know the streaming and all that shit. But one thing I do want to highlight is the fact that for the people that's talking about K-bots and the bots and not like bots and all this other bot talk, there was a mass sweep by Spotify. They had to adjust their numbers. They went in and they got rid of all the botted streams and botted numbers, right? They got rid of all that shit. Now, this is in the brink of the lawsuit with Drake and UMG, and Drake claiming that they, you know, artificially boosted the numbers to try to make Not Like Us more popular than what it is. And, you know, they helped promote a song that is defaming Drake. After Spotify did their mass readjustment and took away all the bot streams from the platform, it turns out Kendrick didn't experience any loss in streams whatsoever from his catalog. He is still all-time streaming numbers on the platform. Over 100 million monthly listeners. And this is after the sweep. So for a lot of people that's talking, I just saw a post from one of Academic's propaganda pages talking about the new Drake and Party album doing organic. This is what organic numbers look like. It's the same platforms that will not post this type of information to the public because it would defeat their narrative. And what they're doing is spreading propaganda to try to make it seem like Kendrick doesn't have the career he's having. It's amazing to me how people don't believe that Kendrick, like, that was the position I feel like they were trying to take. You couldn't win the rap battle, so you had to discredit Kendrick in a different way by saying that, oh, these numbers are fake and Kendrick is not that big of an artist to have this many numbers. But then turn around and say Drake is a big enough artist to crank those numbers out. But then not try to draw the two conclusions together, that if a big artist going after a bigger artist engage in a rap battle, well, the monthly listeners that this person has and the monthly listeners that this person has are inevitably going to increase by a large amount because these are two highly successful and highly popular artists going at it. Kendrick had one of his biggest years of his entire career in 2024. Why in the hell would nobody believe that he has that many monthly listeners? It doesn't make any sense. He had the biggest song of 2024. He was engaged in the biggest beef in rap history at this point. Released an album, performed at the Super Bowl, and is about to go on a major tour. And you can't go on the internet without seeing something regarding Kendrick or Drake. So for the people that be like, oh, you gotta give Drake credit for Kendrick's success. Nah, because y'all wouldn't say the same thing about Drake if Drake came on top of this rap battle. You wouldn't say thanks to Kendrick, Drake got the respect or the numbers that he did. Y'all act like Kendrick wasn't popping before the fucking beef happened. That shit is wild to me. These niggas act like Kendrick was some underground rapper who was just starting out or didn't have no traction, was still performing at small venues and jazz lounges across America. The nigga had just got off of a stadium tour. What are y'all talking about? That's why it's so easy for me to choose a side in the battle, not choose a side as an artist. Like I'm not one of those weird fans that's like, oh, I'm not gonna listen to Drake because I support Kendrick. No, like I'll strictly keep it to the battle. The nigga Drake lost. And he's losing in horrible fashion because now there's a lawsuit involved, and now you got all these different things coming out and coming about. They know you're bothered by it now. I mean, Mr. Unbothered has been showing how bothered he's been. Steady on stage talking about the niggas that don't mess with him. Like, this is the fourth time this man done stood on the stage with a microphone talking about the people that betrayed him or the niggas that don't mess with him or people being fake. The same man that made the song No New Friends years ago is shocked that nobody was his friend in this situation. This is what I mean. Like, niggas be dumb and delusional when they be putting on these fronts. It's very obvious that Drake puts on a front of who he is, but that's just the persona of it all as a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Once you get deep into the persona and that persona becomes bigger than life and you become one of the most biggest artists and respected and revered everywhere, and then on top of that, they look at you like the president of Toronto, of course, that persona you're going to develop as a real character. So now he walks around as if he truly is the type of person he perceives himself to be. But Drake isn't hard. Drake isn't tough. Drake ain't a gangster. He ain't somebody that will go out and pop a gun. He ain't nobody that would do any of that. But because he's wildly successful and because he has a lot of disposable income, he can have a lot of people around him that do. And he can have connections in different places with people that are about that life to the point where he feels protected enough to talk his shit, regardless if he is talking it on stage or talking it through a song. But nonetheless, it is a character. I hope that makes sense for y'all. Now, last but not least, before we get out of here, I always like to play some profound thing or something that really sticks in the minds of the people that watch the show. And this one is a throwback clip. It's a throwback clip that displays Patrice O'Neal and Mark Lamont Hill going back and forth about a certain subject. I want y'all to hear this back and forth because this comes from a different time in life. A different time where, well, you know what? Y'all see for yourselves.
All of those who have raised legitimate expressions of outrage. In addition, his dedication, in his words, to change the discourse on his program moving forward has confirmed for us that this action is appropriate. Our future relationship with Imus is contingent on his ability to live up to his word. Joining us now with more on this developing story is Dr. Mark Lamont Hill of Temple University, radio talk show host, nationally syndicated Armstrong Williams, and right here in our New York studio, comedian, radio personality Patrice O'Neal. All right.
What's up?
How you doing? Welcome back. Good to see you. Did the CBS and NBC do the right thing?
No. What are they accomplishing after 2 weeks? And what are they accomplishing? What
What are y'all trying
Go
to
after him.
accomplish? I don't understand where this is going.
And so, no, seriously, you don't find anything wrong with those comments?
It's something wrong with the comments, but you act like Don Imus and Kramer are like malignant spots, but the whole country.
You say you. I didn't even give you my opinion yet.
White people. I know what your opinion is,
White
Sean.
people.
Yes, and that whole thing you read was all like abhorrent.
That's what NBC said.
Because they were. Blacc is saying that.
That's because they were. That's because those comments were abhorrent.
That part right there kills me every single time, because as soon as Mark starts talking, you could tell that the first thing Patrice thought to himself was, who the fuck is in my ear talking out of turn? It ain't these two niggas. He said, who the fuck? He was about to go off.
Abhorrent.
That's what NBC said.
Because they were.
Blacc is saying that.
That's because they were. That's because those comments were abhorrent. And the reason why we have to defend these young women is because no one else will. The reason why we have to punish Don Imus is because if we don't stand up and speak out, no one else will. And comments like this will continue to be mainstream in public space.
Well, what if this was your daughter who worked so hard, reached the championship, and some dopey radio host says something like that? You wouldn't like it.
Now, this is funny to me also, because one thing that a lot of people don't pay attention to is how people will move with the money. And what I mean by that is, look who is talking to Patrice O'Neal about a racist instance and trying to demonize the very person that made the racist comment. This is Sean Hannity, somebody who has been on Fox News, who has been very far right, who has been somebody who has been championing the other side of people that come with racist and bigoted and white supremacist type ideologies. But here, years ago, he's sitting here trying to talk about the scum of the earth being somebody who made a racist comment. These are people like, I mean, of course, this is common knowledge. These news reporters and people like that, they gonna go where the money is. They don't necessarily feel this way, but as long as they can get paid to be provocateurs, I love that word now, and paid agents of chaos, they're gonna do it. They gonna ride for wherever the money is at. And it's just weird seeing Sean Hannity being somebody on the defense when it comes to trying to hold a racist accountable for his words, to now move forward in a society where you're probably somebody who thinks like the rest of the people on the far right and on the racist side of history that, oh, these words shouldn't mean nothing, or these words shouldn't cause you to feel no type of way. You're probably somebody who says that the left is doing this stuff to keep you guys in this space and keep black people thinking this and keep making black people feel like they're victims, only to be somebody that acted like you understood back in the day. It's crazy.
First of all, have you had any of those girls on?
What do you think?
What do you think?
They've commented to NBC in New York.
And shout out to Patrice, because he called it out as soon as I got done saying that.
Like that, you wouldn't like it.
First of all, have you had any of those girls on?
What do you think?
What do you think?
They've commented to NBC in New York, and they're furious.
Of course, that ain't the real.
Those are their words.
What do you think they really said when they heard that? They didn't go, "Oh, that's outrageous." They went, "I know he didn't call me no nappy-headed hoe."
Shout out to Sean Mims for the $4.99 or for the $5 in the Cash App. I appreciate you, man, for supporting the GMS show in a big way, man. If y'all want to do the same thing, the Cash App is in the description below, or one of my moderators or one of my people in the chat can put that in the live chat there. Appreciate you guys, especially for those that send the super chats and the Cash Apps. Y'all supporting in a big way. Appreciate you.
That's what they said. I know that cracker didn't say nappy-headed hoe. That's what they said. They wasn't outraged.
Yeah, but we can't base our indignation on those 8 young women. It's quite possible, because of the way black women are treated in America, that they were used to hearing such things. But it's still inappropriate. We cannot allow our own dignity to be assaulted in that way without a response. And my response doesn't hinge upon those 8 young women who were disrespected. Even if they weren't insulted, I am.
Dr. Hill, let me answer this. All right, so he admits it was wrong, outrageous. These are his words, not mine. Over the top. He has apologized. He's promised to make good. He's now been suspended. Should he be? Are you saying you want him fired?
Absolutely. I think I'm happy that CBS has stood up. I'm happy that the network NBC has stood up and said, look, this is punishable, and they're giving him 2 weeks. But 2 weeks is insufficient. We cannot allow this type of thing to happen. Giving him 2 weeks only enables someone else to do the same thing. All the attention he's garnered, all the promotion he's going to get, all the free publicity. They say no publicity is bad publicity. He's going to have a job. At the end of the day, he should not.
Get Armstrong, and then we'll get back to you, Patrice. Armstrong?
Well, listen.
He called them girls nappy-headed hoes. Like, you could tell we were in a different time because his network was like, oh, okay, we got to suspend you for a few weeks. A lot of people are mad. We just going to have to suspend you for a couple weeks. You'll come back later and it'll be cool. In the 2020s, oh, you say nappy-headed hoe, you lost your job and any other opportunity outside of that, nigga. You better get your apron on and go chuck up at Popeyes, nigga, because it's over for you. It's not the same. But you know what? I also will say this. We have been starting to move now. Now that I say that, it reminds me of where we're kind of moving to over the past couple years, actually, though. I don't know if you guys noticed it. Let me know if you have noticed this in society. But nowadays, because the racism is so strong and so prominent and so outspoken, like not like comparing it to, any other era, but just saying at this time how it's so heightened and how it's so just blatant. Now when people get into situations where they say some racist shit on the internet and get exposed for it, or they lose their job, they can just pick it up working for some type of entity, right-wing entity, or, you know what I'm saying, some type of platform that will allow them to continue to say the wild shit that they saying and get endorsements and get sponsored by right-wing extremists who will go and donate money to these people to try to keep them afloat because they lost opportunities by being a racist. That shit has been happening lately. People will go on the internet, say some wild racist shit, and because so many people agree on that side, they will continue to keep these people self-employed. Like, you see what happened when it came to Kyle Rittenhouse. It didn't matter about the people he killed. It was just a simple fact that he killed people during a Black Lives Matter protest. Because it had to do with Black Lives Matter, people were so happy and vindicated and so pleased with his actions that politicians were donating money to this nigga before his trial. He was heavily supported, walking out on stage to political events, getting endorsed by Donald Trump because he killed somebody during, like, that's the one. This is what I mean by having common sense and using logic in this country. Because it's not even about the people. Like, they love to pinpoint the dudes that he killed. Oh, this guy had a case on him, or this guy was a PDF file, so he took him off the streets. That's not even the point, that he killed two people. The point in my eyes was that he killed two people at a Black Lives Matter rally, at a Black Lives Matter protest. Because it was there, it held a lot more weight. None of these people would have been donating to him if he would have just killed a random PDF file on the street because he knew that's who he was. I don't see nobody in prison right now getting their books, get money on their books from random politicians or random people that got money after being locked up for doing something righteous. How many people do y'all know who are in prison right now for doing something righteous, getting money on their books or being able to survive in prison due to people being like, yeah, what you did was so commendable and so admirable that we're going to continue to support you while you are in here? No, they did that for a specific reason. Now we're going to finish this up and we're going to get up on out of here, man.
What he said was disgusting. It was a horror. It was terrible. It's very offensive. But the sad news is that this is what Don Imus does. He said things about Venus and Serena Williams. He said things about Gwen Ifill. He said things about others.
Should he be
talked about
fired?
his bosses. He's talked about Jews. He talks about everybody. This is what he does.
Armstrong and Talon, welcome back to our show. Do you think it's appropriate?
May I finish? I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you. May I finish?
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. He talked about all these people. They have allowed this to go on. I don't believe in censorship. I believe in the ultimate freedom of speech. I think the marketplace should decide. Certainly, CBS Radio and everyone else has a right to suspend him, to send a message that after many warnings, they will not tolerate this any longer. But firing him, and then the other thing we're doing, we're setting another precedent. Don Imus is not the only shock jock who use this kind of terminology and these racist remarks. There are other people that use it. You set a dangerous precedent when you say that someone like Don Imus should be fired, because there are a lot of people out there who happen not to look like Don Imus. It's easy to fire people like Don Imus and Savage and others, but we got to hold everybody to the same standard. We must establish what is the standard.
Let's fire anyone who makes racist remarks. Let's fire all of them.
Hold on, Armstrong.
Let's fire all of them then. I have no problem with it.
And then what?
Are you offended?
I'm not because first of all, nobody except for me and the good doctors under 60, and none of you know what funny is. Like the doctor.
Was that fun? Was it funny? What I
to say
funny to me?
Nappy-headed hoe
was it funny?
Is hilarious, but in context of
hold on.
Context. Of a comic. You should be able to explore any words you want to say. He messed up.
Would it be different if a black person said it?
Of course. I can say nappy-headed hoe all day. But right. I want to be able to call white girls straight-headed hoes anytime I feel like it. Anytime.
And would you?
Of course.
And should you be punished for it?
Of course not.
All right. So, Dr. Hill, are we overreacting here? I mean, look, what he said was inappropriate.
This nigga Patrice was appalled by what was happening on that TV set, brother. He was mad as shit. And that's because his stance was trying to protect the comic first and foremost. And I think Patrice knew what slippery slope was going to be head down if they started trying to fire people or get comedians punished for saying certain things. Even when people feel offended, you don't have to agree. You don't have to laugh. You don't have to even think that the person is funny. But at the end of the day, comedy is comedy. And I do agree that comedians should be able to explore whatever they want to explore. Now, the other thing that on the other side of that, though, is the consequences that come with it. You cannot just hide behind being a comedian. You have to be funny. That's the whole purpose of being a comedian. You have to be funny. And if you said something that was not funny, and not just not funny to a few people, but a mass amount of people, then you didn't do your job right. And that was something that I learned from another comedian. I'm losing who it was. Somebody remind me if you know what quote I'm talking about. But to me, the job is to be funny. If you do not succeed at that, you did not do your job right. I think that's something Dave Chappelle said. So the consequences that come with it, well, but I also, two things can be true. I also agree with the fact that comedians should be able to say what they want to say.
It was wrong. He's apologized. At what point do we say, okay, how about a little forgiveness? He's, been contrite. He went on Reverend Sharpton's show today. He realizes he did wrong. Do we keep punishing the guy?
He's crying.
Well, first let me say I didn't find him contrite on Reverend Sharpton's show. I found him arrogant. I found him somewhat belligerent.
What do you want? You want blood?
And his "you people" comment to me really underscored the fact that he's not all that apologetic, and that deep beneath him is a severe character flaw that's directly connected to racism.
We all have character flaws.
Doctor, do you think...
Absolutely. And if your character flaws were uttered in such a way that they cause severe abuse to people in full public view on a daily basis, which some may argue.
Do you know that anybody was really abused here? Was anybody really abused here?
Absolutely. I think that's what we need to look at black women in their particular position in America. When they're referred to as hoes, when they're referred to as the B word on a constant basis, we need to challenge that. Not just when it comes from Don Imus, when it comes from anyone.
Right,
but in this particular instance, it was coming from him.
Dude, but listen, if we start challenging that word, right, and we start to try to ban the word nigga and ban the word nappy-headed hoes, right, let me ask you, how? Who's going to suffer in the long run? It ain't going to be white people. You don't say nappy-headed hoe on a regular basis in the street. I might. I say hoe, maybe not nappy. That's something new for me.
And hoe is not racial.
But with everything going on in the world, why are we fighting so vigorously to defend the right to call ourselves the N-word or hoes?
We got a lot of ground to cover.
That's my issue.
Not the least of which.
Patrice was highly unamused. And you are absolutely right. Miss Universal said Patrice had a I'm so Raven moment and saw into the future of cancel culture. That's exactly what happened. And then when you watch, that's why I said watching it today, Like, people may have watched it back then and was like, man, this nigga Patrice is tripping. Why is he trying to defend this guy? Like, Patrice O'Neal is defending Don Imus, who was calling these black women nappy-headed hoes for no reason. Nah, he was trying to defend comedy. Because he knew once you get to that point, you're going to start seeing what we see today. A nigga can stand on stage and make a joke, a clear joke about something. Everybody in the crowd could laugh, or majority of people in the crowd could laugh. But that one person on the fucking internet who got offended by it can write up some long ass paragraph about how offensive it was, make that shit go viral, and have a whole bunch of hive mind ass niggas that didn't even watch it take what this man said, or take a small clip from what was said and use it against the person in question. We had it with Dave Chappelle. We've had it with several people. I remember, I'll give you an example of a comedian I don't like and who I felt offended by from him saying some shit that was out of pocket. After Kobe died, after Kobe and his daughter and several other individuals tragically were killed in a helicopter crash, Ari Shaffir decided to go on the internet not even an hour later and make fun of it and say good riddance because he was a scrapist and all types of stuff. And then when he got immense backlash for it, and it had some of his comedy peers coming at his head for the shit, he said, well, I'm that type of comic. I do dark humor. I'm a shock jock. Like, I do this all the time. This is something that I regularly do for anybody who passes away. That's fine. But there are consequences behind certain shit. And maybe some of the things that you said about people didn't hit the same way it did because none of those people were Kobe Bryant, who was loved not just universally, but mainly by the people of California. And you're somebody who lives out there. Now, he made the statement because he was in Colorado at the time doing a performance. So he said, since I'm in Colorado or wherever he was, wherever he had that case at, he felt like, oh, this is the right time to be a shock jock. But that shit bit him in the ass. And his career ain't been the same since. Now, granted, he's still out here doing shit. He still has opportunities. He wasn't canceled. But he sure as hell ain't getting the same opportunities he probably would have had if he didn't do that. So you can be a comic, you can be funny if you want to, or you can try to say whatever it is that you want to say as a provocateur or as somebody who is a shock jock or you do dark humor, whatever it is. But you got to make sure that it's funny. Because if it's not, the consequences behind that shit could be detrimental. Now, GMS fam, the Green Room, it has been a very dope show. I'm so glad that y'all pulled up today. We had a great one. I want y'all to hit that like button on the way out. Follow me on my socials. I'll follow everybody back. Make sure when this live is over, you head to the comment section and leave a comment on the video. Let me know what you thought about today's show. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Thank you for the people that donated in the super chat, and for those that donated to the Cash App. I appreciate you. It's very well needed. Niggas need it out here, man. It's tight. It's tight around these parts, man. So if y'all pause. But if y'all want to support the GMS show, man, hit that Cash App, man. If y'all got it, man. If five of y'all donated $5, do you know what that'll be? Do you know what that'll be? $25. Much appreciated, man. Thank y'all for the people that support the GMS show in a big way. Shout out your city. Let me know where you are from. We gonna get up out of here, man. Thank you, Miss Universal. Thank you, Subliminal Frequency. Thank you, Trauma. My guy J.R. Miller in the building. Taj, Dollars, Toke Champs, Safe Zone, One Fast R, Love, Peace, and Joy, Grits and Gravy. I'm getting buckets, 21. Hot One in the building. Marcus Baldwin in the building. Who else was here? H. Randall was in the building. Hit the likes is in the building. That's right, hit that like. CDT Beats, B Stu was in the building. Justin was in the building. Speaking of Justin, shout out for you for the 2 Universal Trappers. Big Bang Hank. Y'all got some names in this motherfucker, man. Chris in the building. Nard Muse in the building. Jabbar Judah in the building. Ashanti in the building. I appreciate your contributions, Miss Lady. Uncle Baby Tomato Soup. Y'all got some wild names. Uncle Baby Tomato Soup. Goddamn. What up, Vel? What up, Buck Savage? Oh, man. Charmer said even white people know that girl lied on Kobe. And that's rare. They say, man, as long as you keep crossing them niggas over, we support you. As long as you a windmill on that dude's head, we fuck with you, Cobes. Black Mamba all day. Yes, sir. And again, rest in peace to my nigga Ace, man. If you in the comment section right now, if you in the chat, man, put a RIP to Ace, man. ACE. RIP to Ace in the chat. Alright? Put a RIP to Ace in the chat. Please. Please. That was my guy. I want y'all to show him some love in the chat, man. Show him some love in the chat. Rest in peace to a legend, man. I love you, Ace. Shout out to y'all, man. GMS fam, the Green Room has been real. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Pull up, same time. It's going down. GMS fam, the Green Room. We out.